Hey guys, what's up? Check it out. Today we're gonna do some metal fitting on Rusty. Should be pretty cool. I actually did the first weld on Rusty right here. It didn't turn out so good. I don't think I had a good ground. Here's a quick flashback earlier yesterday when I was messing around with it. Check it out. Ooh, wow. All right, I think we got it. Anyway, it didn't go so good. I think I had a bad ground because before I started that, I did a bunch of test welds over here and these ended up being pretty good. So I thought, for me anyway, that these are nice little spot welds. I also I did all these as well, so I had quite a bit of practice before I attempted to do the weld over here on his door. And the reason I did this one is because every time you moved Rusty, that support bar was broken loose because of the rust, and it would flap. It would be dang 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 dang. It was driving me crazy. So I said, look, it was kind of like that, but worse. Anyway, I took off the door panel. That alone was a pain because I couldn't even get the door handle off because the pin is rusted shut in there. There's if you push this piece back, there's a spring behind here. You push this back and there's a pin that holds the door handle on. Well, that pin is rusted shut like everything else on Rusty. I did soak it with some PB Blaster and WD-40, and maybe that'll penetrate over the next few days and we'll be able to get it off later. But I don't need to get it off now. The panel's off. I was able to get to the support bar and put that weld on there. Anyway guys, let's fit that metal and see what happens. Stay tuned. Alright guys, I've got the door propped open here with a vibration cushion. I purchased those for the compressor. I put them on the compressor and it actually vibrated more. So I've got them laying around. They work for good door openers. Got all kinds of junk back here, new parts. So let's get busy cleaning this up. This is the part that the gear shifter goes on, the emergency brake, and it goes under the floor. So we need to get this piece in here before we can start putting the floor in. And like I said before, we're just gonna tack weld, or we're going to use self-tapping screws where we can. I might actually have to put a little weld on this to hold it in place, but we'll be going back and taking everything apart, making sure that it doesn't have any rust on it and that we paint it properly and everything. This is just test fitting. We're test fitting everything right now. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is get this leftover piece here off, and this piece here. You can kind of see that's the original piece there. So we'll take that piece off and we'll get this piece off. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I guess it's part of the original one, but it doesn't seem to line up. So might have to go back and look at that video. And there's some little bits here and there that we need to get off, get that cleaned up a little bit. All right, stand by. Slow going, guys. That weld that was originally on there created a huge hole right there, which is kind of weird. Let's see if we can get this little piece off right here. Hopefully that'll be easier. So far it's kicking my butt, guys. Man. All right. This should be simple, right? Hopefully. I'm gonna put a little line right next to it. Maybe it'll give me a reference point. See if we can get this off. Just made a big hole right there. Probably could have just left that on there. Yeah, nice hole there now. Great. That's probably why he left it there, because it's a pain to get off. And that too. Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I don't really like metal work. Not so far anyway. It's just you know, when you're dealing with old rusty stuff that's already been welded, and you gotta rip it out and it makes holes, and it's just frustrating. See, you know, if you have experience, you probably wouldn't have torn that hole. You probably would have drilled the spot hole out. That's probably what I should have done. But you know, something like this is, I wanted to get that piece off of there. Now I guess I should try to fill this and then sand it over. It just feels like I'm messing stuff up, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like what I did here, you know, when we were pulling the floor out. I messed this up. And I know it's probably not that bad. You just have to, you know, put some spot welds and fill it up and grind it. It's just it's not easy, I'll tell you that. If you don't know what you're doing and you're just starting to get into it, it's not easy. But I'm gonna keep trying. I just thought, like, that piece right there, I thought, man, we'll just be able to knock that off, you know. And now I almost wish I would have just left it, because now it's worse than it was before. It's sticking out further. So now I gotta try to beat this back and smooth it out somehow. Stand by. Well, now's a good time to break in these body hammers I got from Eastwood. I'm not sure this is the right application. Alright, let's see if we can get this in here temporarily, just to see how it fits. Alright. See if we can tack this in temporarily. Need to
to go like right there. That's about where it needs to be. Get that to hold it there. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. I think that's about where it needs to be. Let's go with that and see what happens. All right. Can't really get in there. This thing's in the way. Huh. I think we got it. It's not pretty. All right, guys. Not too bad, I guess. Like I said, I'm just trying to get this in there temporarily. We can knock those off pretty easy when we need to go back in there. I just want to fit everything temporarily in here. I couldn't get in there. It's too tight between these two pieces here. So it's loose right there. I can't get in there. I have to take this piece out, which I might have to do to be able to weld that. I'm not sure. You guys got any ideas? I mean, I could try to weld it from the inside, I guess. Underneath here. Tack it right there. But there you go. Some of the first welds on Rusty. Some of my first welds ever. The first weld I ever did on Rusty was yesterday when I was messing with that door I showed you guys earlier. So hey, I think that's holding. Let's take this off here. Yeah, that's holding. Oh, nope. These are holding. Those are holding. All right, let's see if I can get a little better Let me see if I can get that on there better.
I need to hold it on there a little bit longer.
Okay guys, I know it's not pretty. You have to keep in mind I have no idea what I'm doing. So these are some of the first welds that I've ever done on a vehicle. So it's holding. And I wasn't really, the idea here was to just put a few temporary spots on here so we can fit everything and make sure I'm in the ballpark as far as placement and how everything's going to work with all the other pieces. So that's the idea here. We're just going to fit everything in here that we can temporarily, make sure everything works and fits properly, and then we'll go back and permanently install everything. So it's holding. I think that's good enough for us to fit the floor and move forward with the fitment process. We're going to come back to this. We'll remove it. We'll paint it. Get all the rust off of it and paint it and everything, but first I want to fit everything. It's going to take some time, guys. It's just how I need to do it. Let's put the floor in and see how it fits. Alright, let's see how the floor fits now with that piece in there. All right. Well, looks like I'm off a little bit. Not sure how. It's close. Not sure how far over that's supposed to be. I feel like I feel like the floor is in the right spot there. All right, guys, here's what I'm seeing. It's off
just a little bit. Now, there is some flexibility here, a little bit, but you know, we're definitely off there. I'm not sure how critical that is. Let me know what you guys think about this alignment and how critical that is. I mean, it does flex a little bit. There is some flex here. And the holes are pretty close. I'm not sure I can go back anymore. This floor could probably move up a little bit. I mean, how close is that, guys? How critical is that right there? Let me know what you think. Here's a look from this side. Well, we're close, really close. This part, not sure, you know, does it need to, there is some flexibility. You can see I can push that over with my hand. So, you know, is that gonna work? Do I need to move this over an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch? I'm not sure. The holes are pretty close. I don't think we can go back any further. We're up against the unit. Will that work? I don't know. Not sure. Let me know what you think. This hole's pretty damn close right here. These are off a little bit. I don't know that we can go back any further. I mean, if we undid the welds, we could probably push back on it a little bit. And I don't know if the floor is exactly where it needs to be, but it feels like it is. Feels like it's pretty close. Maybe it can go down a little bit more. Hold on. I'm gonna smash on it a little bit. Feels like it's all the way down. I think we're where we need to be with the floor. It's just a matter of, is this gonna work? Can we get our clearance that we need here with everything? See, that's why I want to kind of fit everything. There's no way for me to know, you know, I've never done this before. Even if you've done it before, probably you know, every unit's different, so you probably have to play with it a little bit. I guess what I can do is get the you know what, I'm gonna let you guys respond, comment, let me know what you think about that alignment. Can we get away with this being where it is, or do I need to break those welds and somehow push it back a little bit so these holes line up better? Or do I just need to drill these holes out better? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Alright guys, see you on the next one. Later. Okay guys, so I've got some of the bits here. The gear shifter, the emergency brake handle, and some of the new replacement parts, just to try to get an idea of, you know, how everything's gonna fit. This goes underneath. It looks like those holes might line up, so if this piece here doesn't have to go over, we might be okay. This piece here
This is the new one. I think this is where it goes. And then this is the original here, the original gear shifter. So I think it goes like that. I haven't been able to find a replacement piece for this, but I did get this one. It's not as bad. It's in pretty good shape. It just needs to be cleaned up. So I'm pretty sure that's, I have to look back at the videos and see, and then the manual and stuff, but I think that's how that goes. This goes here, that goes there. Bolts go through to the underside, and this goes from the bottom side up. Boom. Like so. This is the original one here. So this is under the truck. We'll go under there now and mess around with it, but I've got some little, and these are the screws. I think these are the screws that go all the way through. Oh, I think the screws go from the top down, if I remember correctly. Let's see, these are the screws here. Maybe they go from the bottom up. No, they go from the top down. We had to cut them because they were so rusty. So that's the original. This is the new one. Okay, so the ball of the shifter goes in there. So you see what I mean by we need to make sure all this stuff fits and we got all the proper parts before we weld anything in too much. Mainly the floor I'm just concerned about. I want to fit all this stuff in, make sure everything's in line and fits right, and then start welding the floor in. So just to give you an idea what I'm working with here. We'll go under here for a second. I'll show you what it looks like from underneath. So here's the emergency brake, parking brake lever. That goes up through here. And there's a pin that holds that in, which is here. Here's the new one. The old one was completely rusted out. We had to cut it off. I don't know if you remember that video, but it was pretty intense. So that pin will go in there. It's really tight. So I might have to drill that out just a little bit, tap it out a little bit. But yeah, that's the heater tube right there. That's what the inside of the heater tube looks like. But I think we might be okay. I don't know how critical it is to have that lined up just right. Can we be off of a 1/4 inch or so? Or do I need to break those welds off and start over? Let me know what you guys think. So you can kind of see what I'm working with here. We just want to get all this fitted in, make sure everything works properly, and make sure all the nuts and bolts fit. See you on the next one. Later.